Welcome back to VCT EMEA Ascension. Just wanted to take a page out of Tom and Mitch's book. You know, wanted to be involved. But yes, Pilsky and Sam, I need to eat my words because I said that we're never going to get two bangers in the same day. And it seems like Pilsky, we are going to get two bangers in the same day.
Yeah, 100%. Go next. Good recovery from them, especially in the first half. But you got to give it to Barca. Even after a really, really rough first half, they really started to bring things back on defense. And the fact that it took an ace and a thrifty win for Go Next to finally win on Icebox just tells you how hard they were fighting for that one.
Genuinely, I think that if Barca get just like two more rounds on their attacking side, they could actually close this out. Because I remember thinking, like, yeah, their attacking side on Haven wasn't that great either, but their defense was really, really solid. So when we swap rounds, it could happen. But unfortunately, they just didn't have enough of a buffer.
Yeah, there was a lot of shenanigans going on as well. So let's take a look at a couple of rounds. We're going to start with round 10 here, guys. Break this down for me.
Yeah, so, I mean, this one was the pit incident, the infamous pit incident. There was just a couple of rounds where, like, Barca looked a little bit lost on this attacking side, and I think it goes to show you, like, why they were having such a strugglesome time. This pit, obviously, a very, very strong one, especially when you're sitting in it with a shorty like Profek is, and the rest of the boys over there on Go Next playing around it really, really well, just abusing it super hard and making Barca's life impossible.
Yeah, they just couldn't find their way in. There was a similar round where we saw a lockdown come through, and then Barca just didn't push, and then eventually the lockdown is over, and then they start making their way onto site. They haven't gone at any space. They haven't managed to get a plant, and already, you know, the defense have started to swarm in and take them apart. It's 20 seconds left. There's no way you're getting a plant, and the whole round just kind of slips away. And it's these like small little things where it really did look like they didn't have a plan. It kind of felt YOLO for a lot of those rounds.
Yeah, and the shenanigans didn't just stop there. I mean, a 1v5 on round 19. Sam, this was crazy. I did not think Mini was going to win this.
Okay, honestly, he had no right to win this. That's what makes it even worse, right? So it starts off pretty dangerous here for GN as it is. It's just an absolute, like, slaughter fest, which for Barca on their defense is to be expected. So Mini picks up a Bulldog, finds himself in a 1 versus 3, and for some reason, Barca decide, you know what we're going to do? We're going to solo peek this guy. 1-for-1. What could go wrong? And of course, Size is the first one who gets taken out. Absolutely obliterated. Then the op shot missing is egregious. Jesse, not in position to trade off of it, swings out and also dies. It was just... That round turned everything back in favor of... I nearly said good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Not yet. Not
Go
yet. And
next.
hopefully not at all if they can replicate what they did on Abyss against Apex yesterday, because that was left in as the third. Go Next was able to win it. They were kind of doing things by committee, and they looked so promising in the first half. Like, even they touched on it on the cast that, like, everyone was on, like, 12 kills to 6 deaths or something like that. Everyone had a good KD. That's when things started to slip away from them a little bit. And you actually saw Barca as well. It was like a role reversal, right? All of Go Next, all of the players had really, really good KD. ACS were all looking good. All of the Barca players were kind of eating it a little bit. But you see them at the end of the game having pretty good stats across the board and all kind of contributing, which kind of shows you how much work they were putting in even on that defensive half.
Yeah, I mean, we've never seen a 10-2 comeback on Icebox, and I guess... we won't see that today, but let's move on to map 3 because this is where we weren't quite sure what we are going to get, but we are going to get that Abyss. How do we feel about this one, Pilsky, to close out the day?
Well, this is the thing, you know, we talked about it a little bit before. Barca, we haven't seen them on it, and that's due to the fact that it wasn't in the map pool for Challengers Spain. A couple of different Challengers leagues, they have all these different formats. You know, we've talked about the Spanish league having BO1s into BO5 formats, and also now worth pointing out that they haven't had Abyss in their pool, so there's no data on them. And similar to some of the other games that we've seen, it's going to be the first time that we're going to get to see them play Abyss Go Next, however, were happy to leave it with that veto chicken kind of approach in towards the third map against Apex, and we saw just how well they did on that map with that kind of Heretics comp against Apex. So we'll see if they can replicate that same success, because it's not looking that different, is it? Like, they lost the first map against Apex 13-11, and then they reverse swept the series in similar fashion. Wouldn't be surprising to see them do it again.
And the really cool thing is, obviously, at this point, we've had quite a bit of Abyss being played at the top international levels. So there's been quite a bit of opportunity to watch what other teams are doing, what comps are they running, what's working, what isn't working, what can we adapt, what can we, take for ourselves. And I think that we could see some, because Tier 2 always has really, really interesting stuff. And I'm looking forward to seeing what crazy shenanigans Barca are going to bring onto the field. Yeah, we already have kind of an idea of what Go Next are likely to play, but you never know. They might also swap it up today because maybe they felt like there's something they can change. It's still so new for both of these two teams in terms of actual officials that it's really difficult to guess what we could actually see.
I mean, the meta that you're alluding to, right, is the Astra Cypher Jet stuff. For Barca, they've never played Astra ever in any of their comps with this roster, I don't believe, except for maybe Split. God knows when that was. But Jesse Pilski, he can play Astra. He's done it before.
Yeah, so that might be a big boon for them. I'm keen to see what comp they're going to be bringing out. You know, Astra is definitely the flavor of the month, but we definitely do know that that's what Go Next wants to be using. They're also playing the Gecko and the Sova, so you've seen a couple of teams already abuse that kind of post-plan approach and throwing in the wingman, things like that, and just trying to close out rounds in that fashion. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the exact same approach in this map.
I would be very happy to see a Harbor. I think that you can do a lot of fun shenanigans with the Harbor on this map, but of course the Astra is so strong, especially or more specifically because of the fact that you've got that grab well, and you can, just throw people off of Spike or throw them off of their plants or whatever the case is. So I don't see that kind of moving out of the meta or maybe not being picked here today, because I think a lot of teams really like to rely on kind of a sure thing, right? And if Astra is alive, that's almost a sure thing. So to move off of that would be pretty strange.
I wonder though, could they lean into the Clove? I mean, they already do it on Bind. They do it on a Icebox as well. How do we feel about that one?
Could do, but why wouldn't you just run like the Omen Astra, like double controller, like you saw EDG doing so well with that, if that's the choice you're going to do, or even a Viper, like seen a lot of teams doing the Viper moved in as a double controller. We get the answer to our question. They're actually going to go in the other direction and go for the other approach, which is running this KO Sova comp that you've seen have a lot of popularity as well. I think from some of the Pacific teams running this, so yeah, you're going to see the same kind of compositional matchup you've seen at the top level. This Astra approach with the Gecko post plants versus this more sort of almost reminds me of the Ascent meta comp,
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely comfortable for them, Comfort Pigs. And it's time to go into the last map and throw this over to Mitch and Tom.
Thank you so much.
I think I broke the broadcast. I saw the clip back. It was slower on my feed, I swear to God.
And actually, just to be clear for y'all at home on what Tom just said, that's a complete lie. We actually didn't have any issues.
There was no lag. I'm just a dick.
It's okay. I have Tom's address. Paramedics are on the way. We'll take care of him. What is important, though, more important than Tom, is Barca versus Go Next. And right now, the third map is kicking off, Tom. Abyss barriers have already gone up, and the attackers, you can see, are pooled into middle. This is where we decide it all. And, well, it's been a hell of a series so far. Neck and neck, 13-10, trading out each other's map picks. This is where we settle it.
This is a big opportunity for both teams. For Go Next, it would be 2-0, taking down Barca and Apex. I will say if the next team they're playing begins with a C, then they're doing the ABC. We'll see. I'm just saying, if they're doing it in alphabetical order, that's impressive. But definitely going to be easier said than done. Barca have proven that they can battle and brawl, are happy to attempt comebacks. So it's already under pressure. The Gecko flash goes through, and Alexic looks to lead the charge.
Oh, so too does the wingman. Getting that spike planted. An admirable deed. As the smoke fades, it's going to be a battle. 4 players grouped up towards the spawn. They're going to try to just wrestle the control out of the hands of Go Next. Bold is the one to draw first blood in this battle. Maniac, at least trading it out from up above, creating another angle. The Go Next need to think about as the push comes in. It's Forwen off to a good start in this map, but Bold, Prophet, Zeke, they all step up. Maniac's caught behind the box and easily dealt with. 1-0 for the attacking side.
A solid start. Important pistol round under their belt. And I will say, compositionally, what is being run by Go Next at the moment is definitely my favorite comp. I enjoy the post plants created by it. I think that they proved that they can also run that composition in a pretty decent way. And I think a lot of it will rely on Zeke and Alexic, because you're looking at Alexic to get them into the post plant. He's taking the space. Zeke is going to be planting, and then you're looking at Profek in that post plant on the Astra. I think it's one that I favor quite heavily. But I'm interested to see what's going to be run on the other side, because, again, you get a lot more information, especially starting on that defense, having the KO, being able to delay a lot of that utility, maybe even deny it in the late round as well. It could come across as more of a counter at times, but I think it's so difficult to play against on that B site post plant, and Go Next being allowed to start on the attack is only going to make things easier. It seems like the read for them, if they keep going this way, is spot on, but I don't know what was called. They're now going right back into the stack, and after getting that kill, okay. I guess they're just deciding to deny orbs.
Yep. Time to
Nobody cried. No one have a mental breakdown. They just jumped off the map.
Why are we allowing this to happen? Sorry. Lost my mind a little bit there for a second. Yeah, no, they've just decided to end the round a little early, jump down, deny the orbs from their opponents, and that's about as deep as it needs to be. Go Next, finding themselves a 2-0 lead. This one, well, a little bit easier than the last. Tom, do you know what's annoyed me? Almost as much as G2 annoyed everybody back in the day. You're actually right. They played Apex. Go Next are now playing Barca, for anyone that hasn't copped on to that.
And then they're going to play
Then they play CGN
and
then Desire. It is literally A, B, C, D. That's hilarious.
There you go.
You've annoyed me with that. Did you guess that, or did you already know that?
I guessed.
Okay.
I thought of CGN. I was like, I don't know if CGN's their next opponent, but I definitely didn't remember that Desire would be last as well. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's almost like it's planned. The journey of Go Next is to take everyone down in alphabetical order. We'll see. Barca are going to look to try and stop that trend as soon as humanly possible. But Vorven already tagged low. Like, you have to look at what's actually in. I believe it would have been Profek. Just the fact that he's only on 10 HP makes it seem like already damage has been done. No ultimates in play for either side. Flash through is always difficult to play up against. Jesse does well, but it's only the one. And Guardi was unable to find the trade. It doesn't seem like they're too aware of where he currently is. Plant will be coming in. Zeke's going to push forward again. It's just the 1-for-1. And with Northern so low, that doesn't even create an advantage. They're in a poor spot here at the moment, Barca.
I don't think they're getting back into this one. Vorven's so low. It'll be an easy takedown. And if he's left last, that mosh pit's going to have its way with him. That's rough. I mean, he was caught off guard, but given a second chance, and well, that chance was most certainly connected. Nice shot by Vorwen, the 10 HP player. Having a good old country try of it. Reveal is good for one. No info on the second player, and that could be what cements this, what seals it in favor of the attacking side. Just about they get there in the end. Spike is chasing Mini down and will catch him. So altogether, a costly round, but considering what Barca put into it, not a success.
I saw it yesterday. I made a post about Alexic and his performance, and Mini was one of the first players to really hype up his teammate, but I'll be honest with you, today he has been that guy. Like the 1v5 ace, these late round clutches, he's such a nuisance. It's just that, like, obviously he's putting up numbers, you could talk about fragging power, call him a superstar, but nuisance just springs to mind because he's always in the right place at the right time, and even in spots where you go, that guy should be dead. That guy should get taken down. This seems like a risk, or this seems like maybe he gets one. He always seems to step up above and beyond. And wow. Already, 3-0 start for Go Next. They closed it out in the last map on their opponent's choice, lost their own.
Deploying drone.
Currently, well, have a 100% record on this map, but that is only from playing it once and versus Apex, so it's not too much of a test.
Nice shot. Yes, he's already caught bold on his way out. He's being chased. He's not getting out for free, but Alexic ends up going down to it. Now they start to wonder, is this a bit of overcommitment? Thrash going to be thrown into this round. And to be honest, even if it didn't catch anyone, even if it caught the one, they're not getting anything for it. There's players on the right, players on the left, players in front. They're absolutely everywhere. And now Thrash is out in the open, irretrievable. As far as fourth rounds after going 3-0 up, breaking the bye in the last round, this is, I was going to say, about as bad as you'd think it would go, but this is so much worse. They've got nothing. And in fact, they're trapped in their spawn now. They don't even have the luxury of their spawn. Even going there is blocked off.
This just has to be holding on to the weapons, maybe trying to deny them from getting any of the others. Profix looked away at the worst possible moment. He's going to win that fight. And actually, so is Zeke. They're somehow eliminating all of the players, at least. They're going to make it so that no gun can be retrieved. Nothing found for Vorven, at least. That's the only silver lining of this round. Because other than that, it was an absolute domino effect. It was that first kill went away. Immediate attempt from Alexi, a complete overextension to try and get the punish. He's met with the same doom. Then they throw in the ult, and knowing that there's two players there, Mini tries to run into the smoke and ends up meeting the same fate. Like, that is just mistake after mistake after mistake for Go Next in this round. And, well, okay, sure, Barca had to capitalize, Barca had to land their shots, but especially after those first two kills, well, at least the third one was just a mass risk to try and bring something back.
Cena, I assume the coaching staff heard a good call immediately after that round went down. It seems like they've got faith that Go Next have got the solution right up their sleeve, because they didn't call a pause. They ran straight into a B-side exec. That was meant to get them back in full sails. And instead, a 2 versus 5, Spike down in the open. Things just keep going from bad to worse in the early round for Go Next. At least the smoke will block off one, but now they know there's an op in play. You can't be quite as easy going on just taking these picks, or peaks, I should say, even. Smoke up. It was even, it was pulled back. Profik, okay, he gets a kill out of it. Again, that op is going to be a problem, but they've managed to cross, managed to get the spike into position, and that's when the op strikes. Mini with it all to do, and too many players wrapping around too many angles.
Good resurgence immediately, like winning off the back of the pistols, getting the rifles back onto the board, and what was an attempted fast-paced move in towards this site was met with severe resistance. I'm definitely glad to see Size back on that Cypher. I think it's definitely the stronger pick for him individually. I think he's someone that plays very well around his utility, and also does well on the lurk. We'll be intrigued to see that in the second half. Maniac already knows that there's going to be a couple of players around this position. In fact, 4 looking to try and fight him into middle. Already going to be forced out of position. He's got to be careful. Bear in mind, this is a weaker purchase as a Marshall, Guardian, a singular full-bought rifle, and then the rest on pistols. So you don't really want to be giving away an operator.
Here.
Well, they're really content to run this clock down. There's still a minute left on it. They've taken mid control. And then split through on the back of the cage. That's got them across. It's dodged the op. control over Heaven now in a really good position to fight from for Go Next. They make great use of it with size down to the backstab, and Zeke, well, he might have a bit of trouble on the Marshall, but he's kept the space. He's backing off to his teammates. Jesse, well, it's fair to say they have an idea where he is after Mini used his ultimate, revealing the positions of every defender, and Jesse's flank loses almost all of its value. Paranoia is good, hasn't got the player further back. Big swing to try to provide some trades, and that's exactly what they get out of the situation. Good night and sweet dreams to you, Guardi. At least your weapon will live on in the hands of Mini.
Yeah, another round though where again you just look at Alexic, you look at the impact that this youngster's having, and finding the opener, and being able to pretty much close out the round from that point onwards, using that rifle that they had. And it is an immediate pause. You sort of mentioned it, that looking to try and find responses in those positions, but it feels like both teams at the moment don't really have a handle on that economy. Like, it's going a little bit better now for Go Next after being able to win one with a lower purchase. That's obviously going to give them the boost, but the same thing happened for Barca, and now they're looking at the last limits of their finances. I think as well, just the fact that at least in that round, Alexic was able to very easily isolate size. That can't happen too often. He's relied upon. We talk about this with ciphers in general, the look towards the VCT. It's like you need someone who's going to reliably, whether it doesn't necessarily mean like aggressively getting multi-frags every single round, but just staying alive, buying the time, and not allowing those post plants, because we mentioned it already. You get into the post plants, you have Zeke to get you in, and then you have that combination of Bold and Prophet to get you out in the late round, and then obviously just the disruptor of Alexic. It's going to be so hard to get back in on that B site, and they need to make sure that, well, that's not going to be a regular occurrence.
Shock dart.
Well, barriers are up. Ults are online, mainly the Hunter's Fury for both teams that we're looking at coming into round number 7. As the timer ticks away, the drone has gone through on A. That doesn't seem to be spawning a full push of the B site. They just went forward to grab themselves an orb, ended up in a fight, and Maniac Bladestorm up is down to 60. Weaker weapons. And the one rifle was looking for a challenge. She's found a few bullets coming back his way. Already down. And a full push to the A site. Wrap around from Jet as well. What a shot from Jesse. That was after a dash. The pistols have got some fight to them. The Bladestorms come in, hungry for more. Already found the one. Attack as well. Size up close on the wall. Realizes there's a player there. Emerges to take down Bold. And the Bladestorm dealt with. Profek has one more player to find, and it's Size behind the box to bring it across the line for Barca.
Again, it just seems like there's no easy rounds being fought for at this point. Neither team really able to get a proper chokehold on this game. And again, like you get the openers. That's just like straight BS. And even when it looked like they'd managed to find a stabilization, this awkward fight between Bold and Size, both realizing that the other's on the other side of the wall, and then Size there to close it as well. A peculiar round one I'm sure that Go Next will try their best to forget, as they will come in with a buy. They've got the Bladestorm. The op being juggled around on that defensive side, but ultimately ends up in the hands of Maniac. Not overly surprised.
Enemy.
And with ultimates fairly even at this start, but I think for both sides here, it's much more a perspective of we need to start streaking these together. This back and forth only ends badly for one of the teams eventually.
They're really trying to get Mini out of this position. The smoke, well, it might have done. Oh, Mini's gone forward. What? The smoke went up and I thought that's Mini's retreat signal. Vorwin doing well to take that double, but has to worry about Mini coming in from behind. That's now being covered by a teammate at least. All three, in fact, moving to this position. All 4 players left alive are looking for Mini. Look at the impact this player has had on the... They've got a free B site, wide open. Hunter's Fury used from miles away. Not going to land. But the fact that this man is still undetected is the main problem. The thorn in the side, in the back, it's damn well everywhere. Bar desperately trying to find it, and Guardy's the one to land. Eventually, Hunter's Fury to hunt them down as Prophet gets an advanced position. He's tucked in the corner. They'd cleared this not long ago. They're not expecting another player to have already gone off.
No way!
In the spot! What a play by Prophet, cleaning it up by himself.
Oh, he ran out of bullets. He ran out of bullets in the last second. Again, we talk about Mini. He somehow manages to just be the most irritating player on planet Earth. He also, I think, ran out of bullets here. And then it was like karma came immediately back because Vorvan runs out of bullets for the final fight. Oh, it's just heartbreaking. The back and forth continues. No team still able to get things over the line. The thing is, the Force Bio Wars has kind of stopped. It seems like Barca have had enough of it. They had some extra finances here, but just want to make sure they're actually coming in with that operator, coming in with the full rifles across the board. And I think the attack always kind of comes out on top when you have these awkward battles. Speaking of awkward,
you know he's there. Well, whether Size knows or not, it simply doesn't matter. I like what Vorwin's trying. Not a position you're going to see held all too often, and if it is, probably more aggressively looking up towards heaven. But it is somewhere that's likely to be
I feel like
peaked.
he's going off the map.
Just panics, strafes right. Away he goes. It's very commonly peaked here.
Without having to enter the site, so
there we go.
Oh, he's dead. Zeke was like, okay, it's a little bit too quiet. Nice shot for Guardi, but ultimately it's just the one. Go next. Finally managed to streak a couple of rounds, and that's the thing. They're now 6-3 in the lead on that attack. They've got quite a few ultimates built up as well, especially for those post plants. It's not going to get any easier. I'm starting to worry a bit here for Barca.
Yeah, I think it's fair to get worried, but we do have to keep in mind the round we just saw was the pistols. Right now, an op comes out. Seems to be Vorwin who's going to be using it. And again, Vorwin, first half of Icebox, for the majority of rounds, abysmal. Really, really rough game. Wasn't hitting shots, was getting shut down. Where's Mania going? What? Mini's down. So too is Alexic. Big picks on middle. Barca. Well, I don't think there's much reason to be worried about them after that.
We'll see. They've killed off Midi, so I guess that's the biggest danger. Eliminated from the round, but there's still plenty more that could put a thorn in their side. Maniac, he's got to be careful. Almost caught swinging. He had the advantage, but not really a need to overextend. They've got control on A, still got the trips up on B. They were never dismantled, and with Maniac still just jiggling in that mid position. Not really a gap to be found. In fact, they're filling in over on the A side just to make sure the operator holding the angle. They have to be a pretty nice shot from one of the players over on Go Next to remove him from this position without him causing them mass amounts of damage. And well, already just a small amount given over, but it's looking like the cleanup. Great round from Vorvan. Jesse alongside him. And Barca getting themselves back in again.
Yeah, well, I think the maniacal push on middle from Maniac is filthy. I even looked up. I knew there hadn't been a recon. I didn't see a recon, but I looked up at the assists and went, was there a recon somewhere there? He's just fired. Just decided that that's probably the guy standing right there. And he's right. Voron picks up one with the op, and I mean, from that point, like I said, there's no reason to worry about them. They'd have to make mistakes to throw that one away. Go next, call a timeout. Again, I don't think the last round was lost because of mistakes they made. It's hard to believe that. They got opt and shot through a smoke within the first 10 seconds. At that point, it is just well, it's in the name. Go next. And that's exactly what they'll do. Still taking time to touch base with their coaching staff. That's their first timeout, bringing us to 1 apiece as we get towards the end of the first half.
I think Go Next wanting to make sure they try and end this one in a strong fashion. They were 7-1 on their attack when they played up against Apex. Still kept it even when it came to that first half, so I don't think they'll be panicking, but just wanting to make sure they close this one strong, especially with the way that the rounds have been going in this back and forth. Vorven having a step up as well, though that operator goes back into Maniac's hands, clearly not expecting to have that same level of aggression once again, and no surprise for Go Next. It is a lean towards that B site. I think they've had a lot of success being able to eliminate Size from his setup, but this time it's not there.
You are divided. Monster on the loose.
Well, here we go. The monster is on the loose. Zinka sent him out. The Knives canceled it. No real impact to be found from it. Should be retrievable, though, on the other side of that wall. Depends if someone wants to get a little funky straight through it. Maniac goes. So too does Vorwin, but they fall almost immediately. Guardi met the same fate alongside that brutal charge. Now Jesse. Okay, he's up close, and they don't expect him to be. It's a free kill, but now his position's revealed. It won't be free anymore. Has to fight for these final kills. 3 players to take down, but the smoke might buy him a bit of time. He goes immediately in for the tap, drawing out the star. No grab well to work with. The next thing up is going to be a man with a mosh pit, and he's managed to fire it out in time. No punish there. But Jesse's lined them up. 2 bullets, 2 headshots. The tap to draw out his final opponent.
My God.
And he lands every one. The precision impeccable. Another round for Barca as a result.
Oh, yeah, jumping for joy. Also, it seems like the signing of the summer. We've seen some impressive performances, but this guy has put up so many rounds for this squad that just seem to be of pure individual brilliance. A player that has been around for a little while as a potential superstar, but this is just disgusting. Like being able to hit both shots within a second, and then even taking down Mini, who, as said, he's been the man to watch so far. Moves himself up the board, puts them onto 5, and a chance to level things at the half from what was a pretty, or seemingly a damning position with how things were going. He's, okay. Go ahead of himself a little.
I know exactly where.
Okay. Seems like the information is most certainly there for the side of Barca. The reinforcements are on the way. Nades picked up 1. Borman's got another, but dropped right after, and the advantage stays to the attackers. It's Size and Maniac who have to make the play into the site. The spam actually was very close to being good. That spam, not quite so much. Maniac caught off guard by just how close those opponents were. Expecting them to maybe still be on the bridge, but they were bridging the gap in between. Now, Size is a difficult decision. Might even be worth saving this weapon at this point. 3 players tucked in, time against you. It could be a main, they could be in spawn. Oh, it is round 12, isn't it? Probably not worth saving this weapon, to be honest. We might have complaints. Either way, the result's the same. He goes down, just with a bit more pride than if he was me.
Well, it's 7-5. Go Next are able to stabilize what has been a crazy half to at least come out with a victory, but it's definitely possible to turn it around. We'll see who's the victor in the next half.
Last player standing.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 7-5. Barca trailing by 2. A surprise in the last round, Tom. Bit of a troll from Size. He could have had a Vandal for this one if he just saved it, but down to the pistol. But no, in all seriousness, this has been a great display from both teams. A very competitive match the whole way through. But now, Tom, this is where we really get to separate the boys from the men. This is, well, we're going past midnight at this point for most of I think this is where fatigue really will start to set in.
Yeah, all the maps, all the rounds. Been what our series have delivered. It really doesn't seem like there's much to break apart the teams within this group. It's going to be a fine line between success and failure in Ascension, but of course, that's the brutality of it. Only one can make it, and Zeke is looking to take his team back to where he's been for the majority of his career. The VCT, 2 kills already to his name, 3 players remaining. Pot flash to try and get them back in. Vorben's done well. He's been having a decent game so far, but even with the 2 kills, he needs to ace it. He needs to find everything else, and no headshot to be had. A plant will give them a few extra credits for the next round, but it's a pistol for Go Next.
That it is. 8 rounds now locked in with that defuse. And this was where it all went wrong, I suppose. Zeke being able to find himself that double, lining them up, not even moving the crosshair for the second. And then the numbers, well, they tick over to a clear and concise advantage. Little tech pause. Never too late for one of those. It was let Pansy in the stream. For Go Next, yeah, 8-5. Little injection of rounds coming into this, and I don't expect to see a big old buy from Barca. This should be a 9-5 scoreline and an opportunity to set off on the home stretch.
Yeah, they've shown their resilience, be it in their first or second series. So have Barca, though, to be fair to them. Like, from 10-2 down in the last map, I think many teams would have almost given up, but they fought it back and ended up losing to a couple of crazy hero plays. A good start to this second half, but there definitely is still time for them to fight back into it. The worry, though, is some of the big performers from prior maps going a bit quiet. Maniac definitely proved his value when it came to Haven, but hasn't quite shown that value here just yet. Of course, this is the first official we're seeing from Barca on this map, and only the second for Go Next. It really hasn't been shown too much when it comes to the tier 2.
This is a nice spot. This goes here.
The fact is, though, Go Next can win it for the second time. It might mean a few teams start to avoid them on it.
Well, we spoke about Go Next as the team that could definitely upset even the best in the league if a player like Alexic was fragging. That's what we'd seen in most of the matches that they'd won. He was at least doing very well, and sometimes extremely well. This time, he's not. He's got, you mentioned that Maniac's not doing great. Alexic has 2 more kills than him. He's on 6. But players like Zeke and Profek have filled those boots. The depth of Go Next shining through. Mini first to pick one off, and he's tripled up. Look, a lot of them don't have shields and just a few pistols, but hey, you got to respect the cleanliness of those shots. My goodness. No hand sanitizer needed, and that one is clean.
Yeah, another plant is the only real saving grace. A few extra credits, but it's not really going to be anything to write home about. And now they get to play that bonus. And that's the thing. You can now look at Alexic and say, okay, does he pull in the rifle here? Could be saving for the operator. And we've seen that in the past, Go Next are more than happy to play these as more of a raw bonus round. But with how things have been going, with them, I think they won the 3rd round in the last half as well. I really wouldn't mind them investing into the rifle, or maybe at least giving him an extra outlaw or something to play with, because he's been so fantastic in this tournament so far. But now, though, it seems they're going to play it safe. I can respect it. And we'll see if they're able to maybe steal this one away anyway.
Cage triggered.
Still a push-up. They're going real close, and that cam spotted them still. Profex sticking around. He's not looking to concede the space. This is going to catch them off guard. Of course it will, but size adjusts well enough. There's another player peeking out, and it's Bold from afar, landing the shots with the Outlaw, and an upgrade available now for some of his teammates. Ult used, I'm not certain about. It does buy space for Alexic to get closer. If he can hit a few shots here, maybe they're in with a chance. Unfortunately, he's caught off guard by Maniac. The trade, good on the other side. The unit here, 3 players, mostly full HP, all with rifles, something to fight with. They stand a good chance of dropping this, isolating the first fights, but Jesse is winning them nonetheless. And now he's got Vorwin by his side. He's even got Maniac coming in to help. No way they were letting that one slip.
Well, it at least keeps 3 rifles up. The thing is, though, as I said, that was played as a much safer sort of bonus round. That was just kept from round 2. They didn't go for an extra investment. They wanted to make sure that they had themselves the extra weaponry from this round. And even still, there are opportunities up until Jesse, again, puts up another couple of high-impact kills. He really has been a shining star when it comes to this Barca roster. Vorvin as well. Maybe they had the best of times on the last map, but when he's on that server, again, I would almost say to keep him on the server, maybe have a different player flex, because he's looked fantastic on this agent in particular. Still, it needs to be the first of many for Barca. Go Next have got themselves that buffer. They were saving for this round, as said. They've got themselves the operator, and they're actually very reliant on it. It's a solo B hold
Right here.
from that defensive side. That solo player has been known to take over.
A bit more quiet on this map. We'll see if that's going to change. Barca are going towards his site, and unfortunately, as we can see, his teammates are going away. Mini's moved further into spawn, won't be able to cover once that trap is broken. And Alexic could be pushed down from heaven and right in front of him. No dash either. He's got to just swing out and hope to hit the shots. The reveal's giving him away. They know that there's an off waiting for them. Nice shot to start it. He's not going to get out of here alive. The question is, how many can he take down with him? The dash used, conceding the space. Size has picked up a lot in mid, and that collateral could have helped, but Vorwin survives it on 5 HP. The other dodging the bullet that could have taken him down. Mini left in a clutch and now all alone. Has an idea of where all these players are and has dealt with the first. A good idea. The last 2 were up behind. They were spotted by his teammate, by Alexic, not that long ago. This is Mini's chance now, but they're stacked up together. This should be an impossible clutch with them now wrapping around the Ringer Rosie in full effect, and they will just run this clock bit by bit. Big play needed, and it's not connected to start with. The classic comes out, and it was close, but not close enough.
Yeah, it looked like a fumble, but at the same time, he brings it down to just one player standing. And again, that was that reliance, though. The lurk from Sires, I've said it about both of the Sentinel players. They've had so much impact in late round mid lurks, and that's one that's definitely going to pain Go Next a little bit. Opportunities, to say the least. That collateral, as you said, could have been an easy turning point of the round, but having that over-reliance on Alexic to pretty much do it all, he's pretty much full saving as well in this round. Definitely wants that operator as a big part of his defensive half. It leaves a lot to be desired in this low buy round. Mini now takes up the mantle of the solo hold, and with no utility on board, only a pistol to his name, you have to think he's not long for this world. Still gets rid of Vorvin. It's something.
That man gets his ones every time. I don't know how he can be so consistent with it. 4v4. Go Next in with a chance. Very late play by Size on the other side of the map, so some isolation possible. Unfortunately, it's Maniac to win the opening duel, taking down Bold. Looks like Barca in a good position. Spike right in the open. Easily defended. Size gave up on the flank, just reinforcing the main side of it. Okay, they've destroyed Wingman. They've destroyed Zeke after the double, and I don't think Alexic quite intended to jump there. But, well, He's at least running the clock down, Tom. They might tie to the spike. Like, where's he gone?
Down.
I didn't even see him anymore.
Timber. Hey, there we go. Got there in the end. Maybe hoping he could survive a little bit longer than the spike and keep something into the next round, but in the end, it's a few extra kills. It's still the round going the way
One enemy remaining.
of Barca Esports. It's expected. 2 kills from Zeke on the Spectre is somewhat impressive from that range, but it's not going to change anything. And the bigger worry for Go is they're coming into a buy round where their opponents have 5 ults. And you're talking about a Blade Storm for Maniac, the null command to remove a Cypher setup. More importantly, the Hunter's Fury, which we've seen so many crazy rounds from that ultimate today. On the other side, still a few pieces to talk about. Zeke's ult, the Thrash for a retake could definitely play its part. And you can see how passive he's playing. He's playing that rotational player in this round. They've switched that up throughout him and Mini because him having that ultimate could potentially be enough to put them in play. He's actually going facing. He's the one looking to take the fight. I'm quite surprised considering he's the one with an ult online, but clearly feeling confident.
It would have been a beautiful way to end your point. Oh, and Zeke, and he's in the middle because of his ultimate, and so he can and just gets one tapped immediately. Turns out Zeke was there just to rip some heads. It looks like it's a good thing that he's not on the A side. His abilities wouldn't be used anyways. Bold. Good for one. I like the fact that he backs off. He's giving them a bit of space. He'll be swinging right around that in just a moment. Don't you worry. Unfortunately,
I know exactly.
doesn't look like Barca were worried either. Managing to find the kill. Clear the site. Grab a plant as a result, at least you'd imagine. But in goes Thrash, and that's going to disrupt a little bit. No, it's not. It got broken just before, so never mind.
Spike planted.
Even still, it's left Wadi isolated. He's going to get stunned up, but it's Profek doing all the work. The late lurk from Jesse, though. As said, Mr. Impact, the player who's put so many frags on the board for this squad, but not this time. Alexic is ready and waiting, and now Sayers, he has to try and play through a divide. They're waiting on the other side, hoping he can deny the defusal, but there is too many bodies and too much time. Go next after a streak of Barca rounds. They're going to break the momentum. And actually, they've not been that clean for Barca, so I'm looking at the finances. I don't know if it'll be enough to get them through this round.
Well, they certainly don't have their Blade Storm to bolster the buy. Yeah, there's going to be 2 players on very weak weapons. Be interested to see what the decision is here. I think we'll still see some economic shuffles. They're keeping over a lot of credits for the next round just in case. And there it is, yeah, a little shuffle around. It's ended up being just 2 rifles and a stinger for Maniac in the end. They want that money for the next round. They don't want to leave Maniac with nothing to work with. And again, if there was a Blade Storm close to being online, it might change. Because, you know, if you buy a rifle and you just get shot in the head through the smoke, it ain't really worthwhile. So a good thing that he did. Zeke spotting out at least one more player on the site, and there's certainly plenty more coming. It is a clean sweep. The side of Go next, but now the real challenge, like we said, money was kept by Barca. Still, there were a couple rifles there.
Yeah, it's actually more worrying that there wasn't any damage at all. And we've spoken a lot about the sort of young squad of this Go Next team and how Zeke is that experienced player where he's showing up when needed. We've mentioned it before, going 2-0 in these groups can set you up nicely, and with CGN and Desire, the last 2 teams for them to play, a victory versus either should be enough to take them to that playoff stage, take them to the top 4. Mentioned it yesterday that them versus Apex could end up as a future grand final. Well, they are getting themselves these victories early on, putting themselves in a safe space. And for Barca, this is their first match, so a victory here would be great, but they still have plenty more to play. Barca are going to take themselves a timeout that could be the deciding factor, the last one that they have in their back pocket. Got the ultimate online, but yeah, this is crunch time. And not doing any damage in the last round sort of sets them up in a spot where not only this round, but the next will also be facing a strong purchase. I guess the silver lining is ultimates are fairly evenly matched. The next best thing will be the Blade Storm. Well, seems like this pause might be slightly elongated.
It does appear to be the case. A little tacky for us right towards the end. 11-8, 3 rounds between them, and 2 rounds for a victory on Go Next. Economy up against, I mean, just take a look at Barca's economy, actually. Yeah, they lose this, it could well be over. Stop dead in their tracks. Be able to get a mixed buy, but this is the one that they saved for. This is where they want to make the stop, and the technical issues have subsided. It's time to get a very important round underway. One that if you're a Barca fan, you'll definitely be hoping that they take. This is the way back in. It starts here and now for the attacking side. And they've got space towards A. A lurker outside B and mid. Expect a slower round here.
Already a little bit of information, but only towards the back of mid. Alexi's looking to try and roam that mid position. He's going to get the fight. Not quite landing the shot. He goes back for a second bite of the cherry. I think he's expecting someone on the other side, and he wins that fight instead. Vorven, one of the heavy hitters. Size is trying to put the pressure on. They really want to fight for this middle control, but they have got to be careful. There is a second player there for the defense.
Well, it's right back into Zeke. In a worldie of a time when this door broke open in the pistol. He was in the same position, aiming the same way. The result was a double kill. Paranoia gets him this time, and so does Size. There's the adjustment from Barca. Up close, Shorty comes out. An interesting try by Profek, but not one that's going to work. Bold deters the aggression of Maniac. Shock dart, teed up, although it's not going to land for the damage. The disadvantage now sits with the defenders.
Definitely worried that there could be someone up close. Barca putting themselves firmly in an advantage here. Sat back in the post plant. Ready though. It's quick to be equalized. The time though works as that fourth man. The opposing side camera's been spotted, but that might actually make them think they're elsewhere. It doesn't matter though. Alexic is now all onto one, trying to clutch this out, and he found every kill. It's these Sentinel players that have just gone crazy throughout this match, and Size will keep Barca alive.
That goes there.
Oh, it's not over yet, Tom. Those who've been daydreaming, night dreaming, perhaps, I think that's just called dreaming, about going to bed, it ain't happening anytime soon. Let me tell you, we got plenty more Valorant coming your way. 11-9 at this point. The fact that Size lands not 1, not 2, wait for it, not 3, but 4 kills in that position. He has dug deep in a lot of rounds. 12-17 right now. This map, maybe none. You know, you take out the last round, not sensational for him by any means, but this series has certainly made an impression. Moving towards the B site, dash in, good. Maniac up close. The challenge here now for Mini through the cage. He won't find anything. And the other two, surely they look to just fall back, play this retake, give the space. That's what you think. One knife left for Alexic. Op is there to play with still as a backup, but he won't get a chance to use it. Shut down as we are, and it's a 1 versus 4. Zeke, surely no chance.
Oh, I didn't expect a second player that far up on site. Barca coming alive at the dying moments of this map. It's been a long 4-out series, with each map ending in 13-10, which I guess doesn't bode well. Thing is, though, again, the economy starts to become an issue. We've seen it go back and forth all the way throughout this game. Neither team able to get a solid foothold. Even with eco wins in the early stages of the map, it didn't change that aspect. I just felt my stomach sink.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that one bit. I thought it was gonna have to be very mean. Oh God. Okay. Well, let's all take a deep breath. as I'm sure Barca are. Another big round for them as they pushed over onto the side. Alexic might not have fallen down, but he has fallen at the hands of Maniac. A double before he's shut down by Mini. They'll look to retrieve that rifle. Hunter's Fury denies it at the start, but Zeke is there, backing him up, taking the space, denying anything for the side of Barca, and now it's all on to Vorwin. He's about to be double swung. The timing perfect. Dodges the first few nicely. But he won't get there in the end. 12 to 10 and 2 chances for Go Next to close this series out. Otherwise, we are going to an overtime.
Seems to be the case here for them. Bringing things back ever so close, and then just a blip or two that ends up being the killing blow. And that might have just been it. They're still going to have a purchase. Unfortunately, it will mean Guardi is going to be left on an SMG, but here's normally the setup. It's not the end of the world. Zeke also having his ult online again. He's been having a fantastic game. This is definitely the best performance we've seen from him individually, and at a time where, as said, it really is the most important time in this series. He might be a little bit nervous to use the ult, as it did kill him yesterday. Forced him off the map. Definitely a peculiar thing to happen. The attack, though, building into this take once again. Alexic trying to find an angle around the edge of it. He's got to be careful, as he's already being pressured from both sides. Doesn't have a lot of support. In fact, Maniac's going to try and just take him down. It's a solo play that doesn't succeed and puts them a man down. Make that multiple men down, as it's all down to just 2 to try and hold on to this one. Make it just 1. Vorvin, the last man standing, and in the end, it is not enough. Go Next will double up with another 13-10, and they will take this one across the line.
Well, this is without a doubt a team to watch, a team to watch closely. They've bested Apex, they've taken down Barca, and now CGN and Desire. Those are the next 2 opponents they've got, and at this point, Tom, I think this is looking like the favorite squad in the group. They have had consistent good results, and now I don't know what to think, Tom. I don't know what to think. Everybody lied to me before this event. I had my top 3, I had my top 5. Go Next, we're not in any of them. What did I do wrong?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
People, I have not heard anybody be super hyped about Go Next until you told me. Other than that, it seems to be more generic. I guess going with the region. You'll hear about the Pacific from Turkey. You'll hear about Barca from Spain. Of course you will. You'll hear about Saw, about Desire, CGN, Apex. All these boys, they have a big hype around them. But Saw, that's the main reason for Saw, actually. But yeah, and then Mouse as well. Even Zeke was bringing them up as a big contender. But my goodness, this squad, they flew under the radar for a lot of us, and that won't be the case anymore.
No, they're thoroughly impressive. They've started off the A, B, and they've got the C, D still to come, because they are doing things in alphabetical order. It's almost making it even more impressive, but I'm excited to see what they have. They've got a lot of depth of experience. They've got talented youngsters. I think we saw Mini today just a true standout. Like, that 1v5 is going to sit in my memory for a long, long time.
No, it absolutely will, Tom. I mean, look, it's been a good day of Valorant here. I've certainly had a fantastic time, and I hope you have too, Tom. I know the guys in the background have, maybe the viewers at home, but it is 30 minutes past midnight. It's been a long one. Appreciate y'all for sticking with us all the way through, but I think we're done for the day now. Done for yesterday. See you guys in a little bit. Let's toss this off to one more break, and we will see you tomorrow for more Ascension action.
I stack, yeah, high and long. Time is on, I'm a bomb. Golden touch, got a mind that's on. Man, I don't play, I'm on the way. More King Kong coming today. Obstacles try delay. Rush that one, hey, run away from the cave to make change. I'm about to engage. Raise the price of my wage. Didn't know how man stay fly, man. I just sat guy and I work rate high. Didn't know how man stay lit, man. I just move quick and I stay active. Didn't know how man stay boss, man. I pay that cost, long nights on the job. Didn't know I'm a pro. Didn't know I'm in the zone. Didn't know how man stay fly, man. I just sat guy and I work rate high. Didn't know how man stay lit, man. I just move quick and I stay active. Didn't know